Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of these videos. This is a brand new thing for me. I'm going to try doing a podcast. Who knows how this is going to go. And my first ever guest is someone I've known for about, how long have we known each other? About 20 years or something like that.
About 20 years, yeah.
It's a bit too long if you ask me. This is Anthony Couch. He's a guitar teacher. He teaches people on Zoom calls, and he also has a YouTube channel and a website. So let's get into this little interview. Anthony Couch, how many instruments can you play?
It depends. It depends what you define as being able to play. I can play guitar and bass, and then I can strum along on a ukulele.
I've never seen you play a ukulele. Have you actually got one?
I had one, and I took it. It was in the car for teaching, and then I just left it in the car, and then took it out after about a year, and it was in bits. It was in two pieces, so I don't play it anymore. But it's weird. It's a weird instrument. It's got fewer strings, but then some of the chords are dead similar. You've got one, haven't you?
I've got one, but like our hands are totally different. Like I've got the smallest hands ever, and he's got the biggest hands ever. Look at the... Like he could stretch like the entire length of a ukulele, but I struggle on that thing. Right? Yeah. You can also play the saxophone.
Yeah, I've got a sax. It's just here, the saxophone, and this wall here. I've just moved here. Look at this. I've made a Gothic shrine. I've got black candles, and then I'm going to paint a square there, and I've got a wall mount sax stand to put my saxophone up there.
No way.
It's more about how it looks than me actually practicing it.
Let's actually talk about your studio a little bit, because you've just recently done it up, haven't you? Do you want to show us around a bit?
Yeah, we just moved house, so I was teaching in the old place for years and years and years, and then we moved. Finally, we've moved, so we've got this new dual monitor setup. I've gone with you can actually see I'm working on a YouTube video there. LEDs all over the place.
Looks good.
Yeah, normal PC, nothing too crazy about the PC, but I've never done the dual monitor thing before, and I can't live without it already.
Oh, the dual monitor thing, I'll never go back to the single monitor. It's so useful, especially with Cubase, because then you can put like the mixer on the other screen and stuff.
Yeah, I've already done it. Yeah, it was amazing. Monitors, Yamaha monitors, can't remember what model they are. I've only got one turned on, but then that suits me.
Yeah, he's like, for people that don't know Anthony, he's deaf in one ear, so he always has like trouble hearing things like on mixing and stuff like that.
I've rarely ever put on that right speaker. Just put that one on. Got my guitars over here in this little alcove.
Look at this guitar collection. Brightly coloured guitars.
So, have a look at this.
It's Ibanez, isn't it, that you like?
Oh yeah, Ibanez. Oh no, my light won't come on. Why will this light not come on? Oh, it's because I've not turned it on.
That would help.
It doesn't look as good in the daytime, but at night time that proper, glows up. And then I've got the opposite over there next to the amp. It's just a Boss Katana. I'm not a gear snob. I know a lot of people go the valve route, but I've got strong opinions on gear.
Like, I was going to ask you actually, what's your guitar setup like? Like amps and things? But like you just said, you're not really like someone that's into all the gear side of it.
No. When I was in school, and I picked up guitar, I was a bit, it was always the big bands like Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer. And then, new metal was a big thing, so Korn and Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. So you'd just look at what they were playing and just try and copy that. And then as time went on, I just thought, I'm not really that bothered anymore.
I'm kind of the same. I have people commenting on some of my videos sometimes, like asking what I'm using and stuff. And honestly, I just plug straight into the DI, just straight into the interface. I don't really have any like fancy gear or anything.
I went there's a guitar shop down the road, and I always go there. They've had so much money off me over the years. And I went in, and I was like, right, everyone wants a valve amp. I'm gonna get one. So I was doing all the research, and I was watching all these YouTube videos, and I thought, right, I'll go in there and I'll test out all the valve amps. And I walked in, and I came out with a Boss Katana. I tried the valve amps, and I'm sure they're perfect for people who know what they're doing with them, but I just don't. When it comes to gear, if I can hear myself, and it's got overdrive, reverb, and a clean channel, I'm not that bothered. Especially since this is actually a downstairs studio, so that wall there is next door neighbours. So if I had a valve amp in here, especially that's the joining wall as well. So if I had a valve amp in there,
you'll just be knocking on the wall on every single recording.
They'll be playing drums to my guitar. So Boss Katana all the way, no pedals.
No pedals?
No pedals. I've had pedals, a wah pedal and overdrive pedals, and obviously a metal zone. Everyone went through the metal zone phase. But no, guitar, lead, amp, plug socket.
You've just bought a new microphone as well, haven't you?
Yeah, based on
my recommendations.
The best thing about that is I had it set up, but then I couldn't plug it in because this room was upside down. And then I actually finally hooked it up to the PC and it weren't working. And I was like, right, it's broke, it's going back. I messaged you on WhatsApp. You just went, have you tried pressing this button? And you don't actually own this mic, yet you knew how to fix it. Everyone.
Here's another question for you. I can't even remember what the question was. Right, hang on. Right, here's a question regarding the microphone, Anthony. What's your favourite karaoke song?
Just keep that in. We can't
I got dizzy.
We can't keep cutting out the stupid stuff.
Okay, I've got another question for you regarding the microphone. What's your favourite karaoke song?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what's my favourite microphone? Karaoke. The thing with me in karaoke is I can't not do it. I can't ever watch anyone else perform. So
I have actually seen Anthony Couch in action on the karaoke, and it's a sight to behold.
Yeah. Well, favourite is, it's got to be Ace of Spades. It's short, it's loud, and I don't think people expect it because you get a lot of crooners. That's fine. They do what they do, and they have fun doing it, and they sound nice. But I don't want to get up there and bore everyone with a 4 to 5 minute long obscure crooning song that I'd like. You know,
it's a classic, isn't it? Like everyone knows that song as well, so yeah. It's just a classic. That's the only one I've ever heard you sing, actually. I think
it's the only one I do. Yeah, in this new place here, there's a pub just around the corner, and we were in on a Saturday night, and I was very pleased to, when you hear it down the mic, get your requests in. For the karaoke is now open. Get your requests in. We didn't even know, so obviously I went up and did a song. You've got the video.
I've got the video. I have got the video.
If you want,
upload it.
Yeah.
I might actually insert it into the video right now.
Yeah.
What's your biggest musical influence?
What or who is?
Who or which band?
I've got my parent-friendly answer. You know, when I go around teaching kids, I teach adults, I teach everyone, but mostly kids. And if that question ever pops up, I would say hard rock.
Hard rock. That's like that. Such a like general statement.
Oh yeah.
What about in terms of like bands and things?
Well, bands, it morphs and it changes, because even though my favourite, you know, the music that I'll actually go and pay to go and watch and go and travel to different countries to actually attend is always going to be heavy metal. But I wouldn't really say musically I'm influenced by heavy metal anymore. I mean, I must be. My technical stuff, it is, and it always will be. Things just like how I hold a plectrum, how I think about playing guitar solos, how I write riffs. The fact I'm even playing electric guitar influences the music that I write. So, heavy metal is always going to be there in the background, but I listen to a lot of fusion now. I want to bring a lot more fusion stuff into my playing. But I suppose being asked that question, what are my influences, is a bit of an odd question for me, because I just don't have time to create music anymore. I said this in a chat, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I remember this chat. Do you remember back in college when you first got into jazz?
Well, yeah, because that was your influence. I came around your house in my, I don't know, Cradle of Filth t-shirt.
Oh, yes.
My big baggy pants. I still have all my t-shirts. And you had this album, Blue Train by John Coltrane.
John Coltrane. Classic album.
It is. And I remember listening to it, and it just opened up my ear to...
I remember specifically, we went in a practice room, and you had it on, you made me put it on, and then you're just like, right, what is he doing there? You're just going, what's going on here? What, like, it's just random notes. It was incredible. Those were good times back then.
Yeah. I mean, it does open your mind and your ears to new sounds. Because that album, Blue Train, there's so much on there that conceptually, I mean, the fact
that they were recorded in one take as well back then, like, that's just mind-blowing.
A full band, yeah. Because there's an alternate take of Blue Train. They're both just equally as good. Yeah, the Blue Train, it's just a blues. It's just, I think it's in B flat or something. And it is just a 12-bar blues with like a funny turnaround. But there's so much going on, and the musicianship is so
some of the best solos on that album I've ever heard. Like, it's incredible. Even like the drum solos and stuff.
Yeah. It is mind-blowing. And that's been my biggest influence in the last 10 years, I think. Getting me to think about the fact that you don't just have to think, what key am I in? And play a scale over the top. You know, I'm in E minor, okay, I'll play the E minor pentatonic scale over it all. That's good, but for me now, that's one dimension that's possible. You can think about, well, what chord is being played now? What can I do over that chord? Can I make a Lydian sound over that one chord for that one bar of music? Yeah, jazz in general has been my biggest influence.
Right, so you're someone that likes to go to these gigs. Like, you've traveled like all around Europe, haven't you? Like Germany. What was that festival you went to in Germany?
Wacken.
Wacken?
Wacken or Wacken. Wacken if you want to be English about it. But I love the German language, so I will honour it.
You're actually studying German, aren't you?
Yeah.
You still have your computer set to the German language as well?
Yeah, everything. Phone, sat-nav.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best band you've ever seen live?
The best band I've ever seen live. I'll tell you, the one guitarist who actually blew me away, who I didn't really think would, is, I don't know if the name Dave Murray means anything to you. You'll know the band, but have you heard of Dave Murray?
No. What's
He's
the band though?
He's one of the 3 guitarists in Iron Maiden.
Oh, right.
And
You know, I know like Iron Maiden songs and stuff, but I've never really like got fully into them.
yeah, well, I mean, it took me ages. When I was in college, I didn't like them at all. I was always more Slayer and, well, Carcass and all the heavier bands. Cannibal
There's
Corpse.
so many bands influenced by Iron Maiden though, like all them riffs and things.
It's unbelievable. I was saying, like, I was playing Cradle of Filth. My partner hates Cradle of Filth. She won't let me play it. But then I was sat there playing the riffs on the guitar, and I said, "Do you hear that it sounds like Iron Maiden?" Because she loves Iron Maiden, and she was like, "Do you know what? When you play the guitar part on its own, it does sound like Iron Maiden."
Well, they're massively influenced by them, aren't they? So
Yeah.
it's obviously like some sort of thing going on. The riffs are like they even did an Iron Maiden cover.
Oh, yeah, they've done "I'll Be Thy Name," yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing cover. They were gigging that last year, I think.
So would you say Dave Murray is the best guitarist you've seen live?
It was I think there's guitarists who I've seen who suit my style more. I mean, Dave Murray blew me away. But in terms of, I suppose this goes back to the biggest musical influence. Just influence as a person is Paul Gilbert. I don't know if you know much about Paul Gilbert.
I'm actually not that big on guitarists, Anthony. So I know like you're huge on your guitarists, but I'm not. I don't really know much about them.
Yeah. Paul Gilbert used to be in a band, still is, I suppose, a band called Mr. Big. He had a couple of hits. He had this gimmick where he used to put 3 plectrums on an electric drill. And
yeah. I actually posted a video to your group page with the couch potato group. Yeah, he actually had. It was a video where he had a drill with a plectrum attached to it, and he was doing that. What's that song called? That I can't remember what the name of that song is, but yeah, it probably got it from that though.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Paul Gilbert he actually gets his own. I think he gets his own, like, what would you call it? Endorsed electric drills from an electric drill company.
No way.
Because they don't go.
That's
crazy.
Because
he go. But all new drills just go. Because when you hold it up to the pickup, you get this satisfying. Anyway, I could talk all day about Paul Gilbert.
That's like proper avant-garde stuff.
Yeah. But he's a massive influence just as a person, as a teacher, and as a musician. He's probably top of the list. I know I've talked about jazz before. I've seen him live a couple of times. Both times it's just astounding. But when you said what's the best live experience, it's probably just listening to Dave Murray. Because he's toe-to-toe with 2 other lead guitarists, but he just stood out as being just a cut above.
Right. So aside from music, what other hobbies do you have?
Wow, what a question. I've calmed down a lot now, but in my 20s, I tried everything, tried every hobby going. The ones that stuck, I love...
Hang on, look, can I guess what you're going to say here? I'm going to guess Rubik's Cube. I'm going to guess running.
Yeah.
And one more, snooker.
Snooker, yeah. Not playing, just watching. I went to see some snooker the other day. That's the best thing about living in Sheffield. You just see, we paid, I think it's a tenner a ticket. You just sit in a big arena, and it's just a table in the knockout, like the qualifying stages of the world tournament. and we saw Ken Doherty and Matthew Holt, and then a few others. But over the years, those few others turn into massive players. I've seen all the big names since living in Sheffield, and walked past Deshawat Poomjang the other day. I didn't notice him, and I would have got my picture taken with him, but the moment went.
Is there the three hobbies that you would have said?
I would have probably gone with art now.
Oh yeah, the art. Yeah, he's actually really good at drawing. You should actually post some of your stuff up.
The thing with doing that is, when I look through my old sketchbooks, I just think how terrible they are. And then I'll do something like tonight. I do it every night, and I'll think, what, that's half decent. But then I know that in 6 months' time, I'll look back on it and think, that's terrible. Yeah, I might upload some stuff, but
you'll have to send us a photo, and I'll put it into this little podcast thing.
Yeah.
What's the best tip that you could give to someone just picking up a guitar?
I get asked this question so much, and I'm always thinking of tips. I've got a few. Because I run this YouTube channel and I'm trying to do YouTube shorts, 2 of them a week, and then a full-length YouTube video a week. I've got full tips going on in my mind all at once. But I suppose the thing that helps is that it's got to be enjoyable. If you find that practicing is becoming a chore, you're probably practicing the wrong thing now. Eventually, there are going to be some things that you have to make a chore, but they're for after. Practice your favourite riffs. Dip in and out of songs as well. Don't feel guilty about abandoning a song. If you played the opening riff to it, that's enough. Move on to another. Then you'll come back weeks, months, years later, and learn the rest of the song. Just keep it fun, and then you'll just be getting better without even realising it.
That goes for pretty much every instrument, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Piano, and you can actually play piano. That's another instrument you can play.
Yeah.
You're actually better than me. I've never really practiced properly on piano. I just sort of play it whenever. But he's really structured with his practicing.
Well, the way that I work is, that's very kind of you to say, and of course I'm going to disagree, because
You've got bigger fingers. You're definitely you can stretch about 2 octaves.
The piano playing, the biggest difference I made was getting myself a decent electric piano and just having it there, because I had your old electric keyboard for years.
I don't remember that. Which one was that?
Your old stage piano.
Is that where that went?
Yeah, I went for part exit or sell it ages ago now, and they couldn't have it. They said it was dangerous. They said the electric, and it was. They chucked it in the skip. But honestly, just the simple act of, seemingly simple act of turning it on there and then bending over and turning on the amplifier, because it didn't have built-in speakers. And then not having a proper stool and not having a proper music stand, that was a real chore. So the best thing was just getting a little Yamaha clapping over thing, and then it's just there. I just got a nice stool. You just go on, and I make myself practice every day.
See, that's the difference. Practicing every single day.
I've got an app. I'll show you the way I work. This is the way.
Go on. This is an insight into how Anthony Couch learns instruments.
So I have thought about doing a video on this. It can be very telling how much or how little you practice. Because of course, when people ask me how much I practice, I always say every day. But
do you actually practice every single day?
Well, I'll show you now. So on here,
look at this: sax, flute, guitar,
and piano.
Piano.
So the ticks are if I practice that day.
You've not practiced guitar all week?
I've not practiced guitar for a long time. Yeah. The thing is with the guitar is I'm really strict with what constitutes as a tick. I'm always sat holding a guitar and I'm always talking about technique and slowing things down. But I'm not one of these people who thinks that teaching guitar makes me better as a guitarist. It makes me better at teaching and better at thinking of musical concepts. But actually practicing guitar, it takes I would have to sit there and actually make a point of learning a new thing, and then it would get a tick.
So like really strict with guitar practicing.
Yeah, the piano I'm far stricter with because I've got a lot more catching up to do. There are all the days
Look at this. Oh my God.
And I've only downloaded this app recently. This is like the second or third time because I get quite bad with it. I get quite bad if it gets to like 11 o'clock and the pressure of not giving myself a tick makes me just go and practice mindlessly.
How long do you have to practice for though to get the tick?
Well, that's where, you know, because it sounds cool to say I practice every day, but you have to, there has to be a give, you know, you have to let yourself off somewhere. And for me, it's an indeterminable amount of time. Doesn't matter. If I sit down, I mean, it's got to be like over 5 minutes, but some days it's an hour, some days it's 5 minutes. But I did something that day. That's how I get around it. The saxophone and flute practice has fallen down by the wayside just because we've moved house and all I do is decorate. When I'm not teaching, I come in, I'm stripping walls, I'm decorating.
I remember the video you sent with the door handle. You had like some trouble with a door handle or something.
Oh, that was the old house. That was just when it was being sold. I wonder if they fixed it. Yeah.
You didn't tell them about that one, did you?
No, but you know what it's like. They didn't tell us about the things going on in this house. So
here's a question for you now. Is there a song that you've ever tried to play but just couldn't play it? You've just given up trying?
Yeah. I mean, when I always say to people, you can play anything if it's slow enough. So I've definitely learned songs, but didn't get them up to speed and abandoned it before I got it up to speed. Probably something like by Yngwie Malmsteen. I don't know if you're familiar with Yngwie Malmsteen, Swedish guitar.
No, not me.
Yeah. In guitar world is, you know, an icon of speed and technique. So obviously I'm drawn to him and his playing. Oh, I'll tell you what I have tried in the past. Things like Vivaldi or Bach.
But on guitar?
Yeah. So I buy these books. I've actually got all of Bach's partitas or partitas, whatever you call them, for solo violin. And I've yet to actually pick one up and give it a go because it's a real undertaking. It's daunting before you even pick up an instrument. The sheer memorization of it is one thing, and then the fact that it's written for violin, but I'd be on a 6-string instrument, coming up with my own fingerings and stuff, that just makes it all.
Yeah, the violin's fretless as well, so that's like something extra in it. How did you first get into guitars?
There was a lad I used to go to school with in primary school called Carl, and I went round his house. And he played a song by Oasis on his dad's guitar, and he played the song Talk Tonight by Oasis.
I know that song.
Yeah. And just watching him do the chord changes, you know, I first had a guitar when I was about 7 or 8, but it was a toy, and you know, guitars were cool. I always grew up listening to guitar music, but I never really practiced it or anything. I just messed about on it. But when I was about 12 and saw Carl playing this song, it just made it clear that it's possible, you know, for this other lad who was 12 to pick one up. So I'd just go around his house, and then he taught me a few chords, and then my sister bought me my first guitar. off another lad who I know.
Do you remember what guitar that was?
I think
It's got to be Encore, isn't it? Everyone starts on the Encore.
It wasn't an Encore. It was, I believe, Hock Harder. And it had that smell, that cheap guitar smell. It was an acoustic guitar. And it had two...
Was it bright pink?
No, not like those, no. It was, it had two fret 13s because the fret leveling was off. Of course, then I didn't know how that worked. So I'd play fret 13 and it was fret 13. Oh no, play fret 13 and it was fret 14. And then I'd play fret 14 and that was also fret 14. So songs like, I don't know, any solo in the key of E minor, I couldn't get that high C on the B string.
Was you soloing back then? Was you like, did you just pick it up straight away?
No, I remember I learned a couple of Oasis songs. Yeah, I mean, it was as soon as I met this other lad called Stephen. Do you know him when I said that, Stephen?
What's his last name? Are we allowed to say?
Well, I don't.
Did he go to our college?
No, he went the other one.
I don't think I know him.
Anyway, I heard him play, and then that influenced me to get onto electric guitar. That's when things started coming a bit more naturally. And then I revisited all those heavy metal bands that I grew up listening to, because for a long time it was Eminem and dance music and rap.
I never knew you was into Eminem and all. Was you actually into that?
Yeah, I think it was so
I didn't
big.
know this.
It was so massive when he came out that's all like anyone in our school listened to. You know, Stan came out in what, like 98 or something, 97.
It's a good album, that.
Yeah. I've not heard anything after them first two albums, but yeah, I like him. I just don't listen to him now.
So what do you think is next for Anthony Couch? What's the next stage? You've got the new studio. Is this like the next phase of Anthony Couch?
Well, I've been living in this new phase, really, since the pandemic, of video lessons. I always used to think video guitar lessons are for the ultra big guitarists. You know, I won't name any of them, but you know the ones they got like anywhere, 100,000 and over subscribers. And I thought, right, I'm a teacher. I'd love to do it, but no one will want them. No one will want lessons. But the more I started advertising that I do it, the more people are interested in them. Because I think that's all it is, It doesn't make me any better of a guitar teacher than anyone else. It's just you speak in the same musical language. They understand things the way you explain them. That's all that is. So I've been quite surprised by how it's been going. People from, well, a few different countries now having lessons. So that's this new phase in terms of work.
Are you on like Patreon as well?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, the Patreon, that's evolving. I thought I won't do the Patreon thing, and then I thought, well, a couple of people started commenting, asking if there was going to be one or if there is one, and I thought, well, people are interested in that. So my Patreon, that's morphing into, I don't want to take away from the people who've supported me on YouTube by giving just exclusive content on Patreon, which I suppose I am, but it's more that it's just an extra bit of reward for the people who do support me on Patreon. That's how I see those, just a little reward. It's just not much, unedited video, raw footage, me, or a backing track, for the video. It always relates to the video that I'll have just put out on YouTube. But yeah, the new studio, new setup. Didn't get a new camera though. Same camera.
That'll be next, won't it?
Yeah, probably. It's not a numbers game. I always think it's important to think that the subscribers, they're not it's not just numbers to me. They're all individual people. But then that being said, I suppose the big thing for me is that push. 10,000 subscribers would be nice. I'm getting.
Have you got any plans for what you're going to do at 10,000?
Yeah, there'll be prizes. I said prizes at every 5,000. So when I reached 5,000, there was a prize for everyone. So 10,000.
Me and you were like neck and neck with subscribers at one point, weren't we? Like it was out. We had like a little thing together where we was trying to get to 1,000 subs, and we were like pretty much the same like amount of subscribers. Then his channel just went off on one, and like mine's like slowly growing, but yours just went straight through. I think that's mainly down to the fact that you like upload every single day, pretty much.
Yeah. There was one point when I was doing 2 shorts a week and 2 long videos a week, and it just wasn't sustainable. I didn't have any time to myself, because it's not the filming, it's a 10-minute.
It's the editing with the videos that people don't understand. It takes so long to edit.
It really does. Thumbnails, entering all the metadata, and then doing that 4 times a week is, it takes time. But since I've dropped it down, you know the YouTube Creator Studio, it tells you absolutely everything you want to know. The YouTube Shorts, again, doesn't seem like it'd take a lot of effort, but you have to constantly think up little things that you can fit that are useful within 60 seconds. People might want to watch. And you can do one that you're really happy with and then no one watches it. I'm sure you've been there.
I've had so many videos that get no views.
It's so disheartening. And then,
it's always the video that you don't expect that takes off as well.
It is. There's channels that I've watched. There's a massive YouTuber who was around the same as me in terms of size, who is now, way up there in beyond a million, possibly 2 million now. And he'd comment on my videos. Back then I was trying to do the silly videos, mixing in a few silly videos with actual lesson videos. He was doing just the silly videos. He was an amazing player, but it'd be like memes, I think you call them, and although the word meme, I'm not even going down that road. Why the word meme angers me. But he blew up. He blew up in a massive way. You can never guess. So the next chapter is me just working away, chipping away at it, and aiming for that 10,000.
Right, so if you're not subscribed to Anthony Couch, head over to his channel and hit that subscribe button.
Anyway, it was nice talking to you, and we might. Do you reckon anyone will listen?
Who knows?
I always ask people at the end of my videos to let me know if they watched it to the end, so you can let me know. Let
us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you watched this video to the end. So there you go. I hope you like this little video. It's the first ever podcast that I've ever done. Definitely go and check out Anthony Couch's channel. I'll leave the link in the description. And also check out his website. I'll leave that in the description too. Let me know what you think of this little podcast idea. We've sort of got some ideas to expand this a little bit. Maybe do some podcasts like based around music, just talking about music and things, like me and Anthony. So that's the plan. Let us know what you think down below and hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.